What is up, guys? For today, I'm going to create my watch list for tomorrow. Kind of a general sense of where the heck the market's going. Tomorrow I expect a lot of volatility up to that 2 o'clock Eastern time FOMC meeting. So in the morning I'll probably play until about 11:30ish, and then just take out my positions from there. And then once that meeting's over, then I'll look to play for power hour. But into that, I'm expecting a lot of volatility, not one significant direction with the market, and it could flip right with when the meeting starts. So I'm going to take a little bit of risk away involved with that. In terms of my watch list for tomorrow, AMD is one that really sticks out. Semiconductors have really taken a beating, but I'm going to check this flow, see what we got here. And if it loads. Alright, so first thing I notice, those 128, 115s, and 120 calls are leading the way, and then we're getting hits, up to, let's see, next week, 218, 140 calls are a nice move up. On the downside, we have this 110 put, which gives us a pretty nice range. 100 put, I don't know about all that. 105, but this gives us range on both sides. I like AMD a lot. Another one, this one's just kind of based off, seeing the charts. Market's definitely downtrending, but if the market bounces, I think Facebook could have a very nice bounce back to retest those levels on the VPA gap that were formed. Haven't really looked. Let's check this flow out here. But it also has a lot of downside, and it relies pretty heavily on the market and overall market conditions. So, all right, let's see. So 310 call getting hit nice, 315 up to 330. That's a little bit OTM in my opinion for this, but we have also 290 puts getting hit down to 260 puts. So that's a big move either way. I like that a lot for Facebook. 120 2023 600 calls are getting hit, which is a double of our position in a year. Pretty insane stuff right there. They do have earnings next week, I believe, so this is one I'm going to watch pretty closely, but I like that play in terms of both sides. Now for the smaller accounts, one that really stuck out to me was NEO. On the hot chains and tickers, it was very high up on call volume today, even though it's been taking an absolute beating the past couple of days, and it needs to reclaim about 25.5 to really not just go straight to death. But one thing with this flow I noticed I like a lot, we got the 26 call getting hit nice, 25 calls hitting nice, 23 puts, 24 puts, and we have up to 30 calls for this week getting hit as low as 20 puts. So this really, another nice possible move. I think with all three of these tickers so far, people are kind of, strangling them a little bit because we don't really know where the market is headed. And there's a lot of volatility, so both sides have been playing and paying pretty nice. That's one thing I really like, but also, being able to manage position is super big in this market, especially with the IVs on most tickers being 70+%, which is pretty insane. So Facebook, NEO, AMD, Uber's another one. It's had past couple of days have had a lot of call flow on pretty bad days in the market, right? But there was also a UW alert today about people taking a position in Uber, so that really sparked my attention intraday. Let's see what the flow's looking like. So 218, 42.5s, while they are 2 weeks out, those are nice moves up. Let's see, 128, 36 call getting hit, pretty nice. Let's see, in puts, 32 puts. So this is a decent move either side. I like this play a lot in terms of Uber. Definitely one I'm going to keep on the watch list, a smaller account play. Something, it goes off the market as well, but some days, it'll show that relative strength when the market's weak. If we get a big bounce, I expect this one to bounce pretty firm up to that 36, maybe 38 level. Let's see here. One more for the smaller accounts. The AALCL travel industry, I'm not going to play tomorrow because BA has earnings, so I think that's going to be a little bit skewed, but they're ones that we can also keep in mind. INTC has earnings tomorrow, not going to play that one. PLTR has had some decent amount of calls the past couple of days. See, the day before that, 299,000, 199, a little bit lower here in terms of calls and puts, but people are definitely taking. Let's see what they're hitting here on the intraday. Let's make sure this stream's going. All right, cool. What up, what up? Just making sure the stream's going. Had some technical difficulties the other day. All right, so on this, let's see, I'm just trying to see what Palantir ended at. All right, whatever, I can't see that personally, but we have calls up to 15s getting hit. I like that a lot. We have also 218, so let's see, that's 2 weeks expiration, 16s getting hit. 128.21 call, I think that's a bit absurd, pretty out of the money, but so I'm not going to take too much in. But we also have these 13 and 12 puts getting hit. Nice play each side, very cheap premiums, and it's a play that can move, pretty decent. So that's one I like as well. We also have the 50-cent intervals on calls and puts, which allows for better possible entry spots there as well. So those 5 I really like. They have a lot of up and downside, and as I stated before, I think this is more due to trying to hedge what the FOMC meeting could be about, but it also gives us the possibility to play nice in both sides. So I got these 5 tickers over here. Now let's look at some levels. All right, so I don't want to get too high on these levels, but also not too low. On the 15-minute here, it looks like this level, 113.45 is big, but this level here sticks out a little bit more, triple top, and then I think, so 113.3, what's the high here? 113.36, 120. 113.11, 113.32. So I'm gonna put my call trigger at 113.3. Flip this to blue. I like that a lot. I think over that, I'm gonna use the hourly more to look at levels in terms of above that level. But on the downside, let's see. What are these here? I like this double bottom here. What is this? 109.66. So I'm gonna put my put trigger at 109.65. Change this 109.65. All right, cool. As we can see over here on the VPA, there's a lot of shares traded within these 2 ranges, but above we have nice volume gaps, below as well. If we scroll out, even so we have a nice one to the upside. Downside, there's always downside potential, especially in this market. I'm gonna use my hourly to see if we have any more. Whoa, this is definitely traded earlier at some point. But all right, on the upside, first target is going to be, what's the high here? 114.25. Put that in yellow. Nice. And then over that, this double top here looks appealing. 114.84, 114.8. 0.81's all right, cool. I like those 2 levels on the top. Over that, we can see this 116.4 level, 116.5 over that. But over that, we have a nice volume gap. We could test the lows up here around 119.4. So that's something cool to see as well. AMD is one that can move, pretty vigorously when people really get a hold of it. So I expect a pretty decent sized move out of AMD in both this week, tomorrow, especially end of the week as well. So under that 109.65, let's see the lows here, 107.5. That's a big psych level, very down here. That's the low. And then what's this one? 108.5. So those are 2 big psych levels. I like those a lot. I'm gonna have to go on the daily to see, where the heck are some levels below that, because this one can move pretty fast. It's also an inside day, nice to see. Not very much volume decent volume profile. But let's see. So it looks like the high, what's the high here? 106.82, 106.75. I'm gonna put this at 106.8 in terms of my furthest low side. If I can, I'll just put this 106.8. Cool. But as I talked about, I think this can move pretty nice in both directions. Looks like, in a zoomed in form, there's a nice little volume gap here up to about 119. There's also that little price gap. So if we do rebound tomorrow, I expect this to have a nice little move up. I like that a lot. All right, let's go to Uber. All right, so for Uber, this thing's taking a little bit of a beating. Let's see here. It is in a pretty crucial stage here, almost identical to this POC, a little bit zoomed out, 33, 34. Cool, I'm gonna go to 15. Let's get some levels on this sucker. All right, so there's definitely a lot of congestion, as we can see, up and around here. Let's see, 35.4. It's gonna be a decent sized level, but I like this double top here a little bit more. Respected this level, tested this level, so I'm gonna use my call trigger here at 35.35. This one looks like it's holding support pretty well at this point, so I think it's going to be a pretty decently explosive move in either direction. I like that a lot out of Uber. On the upside, after that, this level here is definitely massive. What's this? 35.58. What's this? 35.57. All right, so I'm gonna throw this in here at 35.58. Flip that to yellow, a little bit of coordination. This level here is going to be big as well. Let's put it here at right under 36. I'll put it right at 36. I like that a lot. Those 36 calls are getting hit nice. So over that 35, definitely going to play those 36 calls. I like that a lot. As we can see, the market's down post. I'm going to wait on retest. I don't expect, what this is doing post-market to really affect too much of tomorrow. But it is something to keep in mind. On the low side, so I like this multiple bottoms here, was a top here at 34.25 for my put triggers. If we see over here also on this VPA, there's a little bit of a gap. This looks like the bottom of that zone that it really could fall off. But underneath that, this level here is definitely a big one. Well, yep, it's 34. So I'm going to target that 34, definitely play the 34 puts on this side. And then underneath that, I'm going to target this down here at about 33.65. I like that a lot. So I think those two moves are definitely possible. Let's see if I can even, there's nothing. Oh, all right, so this level here, what the heck is this? Low, 34, 35. So those are up by 35. Let's see what's the low here. 35.53. So 35.5 is going to be a big level, it looks like, as well. Looking at this, so over that level, I like that up to about that 35.58 first stop, and then 36. Over 36, we're going to come into a lot more congestion, but it definitely could move higher up to around 36.13 is really a big VPA gap that I notice over here with Uber. Next, PLTR. This one's cheaper premiums, as I mentioned before. I like that a lot. First thing I notice here, in terms, this isn't going to be, I think it's a little bit too far for a call trigger, but 13.5 is going to be a massive level to try and break. We tested it once before, and then over that, this bottom here, about 13.58 is a big level. But in terms of a call trigger, let's see, I like this level right here, ultimately before it fell off at, let's see, about, what's the low on this? 13.26, 13.26, 13. I'm going to use it at 13.26 for my call trigger here. Flip this to blue. Usually I don't use, usually I use psych numbers, but I think this one is one where you got to be a little bit more precise. It's respected this zone multiple times as support before ultimately falling off. So I like that a lot. With my first target, my first target is going to be that 13.4. This one is going to move a little bit slower, but we can get pretty decent moves with the cheaper premiums. I like that a lot. And then over that, I think the first level that I really would stress about, there's some decent build up here at 13.6. I'll throw that in, as I do think that's going to be a pretty key level. But I think this level up here at 13, let's see the lows, 13.75 is going to be the ultimate. 13.77, I'll put that. What's the high here? 13.77. I think that's going to be the real zone we could test tomorrow if we get going to the upside. I like that a lot. On the downside, Let's see what we got here. What levels are these? 64. All right, so this is definitely a big level here. All the lows here. I'm going to put my put trigger at the low of these two right here at about, yeah, I like that a lot. High here, multiple lows, 12.85. I like that. Underneath that level, you know, this is going to be a decent size at 12.8. I don't think that's going to stop, especially if the market tanks, I don't think that's going to stop PLTR from absolutely diving. But 1265 will be a level I'll watch. 1265, flip that to yellow. And then underneath that, you know, we could really fall down to this level here, about 1225, nice VPA gap. So 1225 is going to be my second target here. I like that a lot. We'll definitely watch in that 12.4, 12.5 area, but seen by the VPA, you know, there's not too much holding this up. Especially if the market tanks, we can fly, but there's also nice VPA gaps above, so I like that a lot. Neo's been one of my favorite plays of recent. It's really liquid, moves in both directions pretty well, and once it gets going, it really gets going, so I like that a lot. Let's see, 24.44, 24.35. What's the high here? 24.33, 24.37. What's the low? 20. All right, so I'm gonna put my call trigger here at 24.25. I'm gonna mess this up. So on the upside, I like that 24.25. Pretty decent psych level. It's reacted multiple times as both support and resistance, so I like that a lot. My first target's going to be up here. Let's see, what's the high on this? 24.46. I'll use 24.45. A little bit better level. As we can see, you know, this could play both ways pretty well. Nice VPA accumulation here. Moves up, moves down, not too much holding it from going either way, so I like that a lot. And then over that, 24.71 is going to be my first target over that. Don't want to get too crazy because I do think tomorrow is going to be extremely volatile. And then my end overall top, I think 25 is definitely doable tomorrow, especially, you know, a nice market bounce. In terms of the bottom, whatever this level here is obviously, you know, pretty massive, right? So I like that level a lot. I'm going to end up putting it at 23.5 for my put trigger right underneath that level there. Big psych level. They bounced off pretty nice. And then underneath that, you know, down to this 23, what's this? 23.38. Nice, I like that. First target, you know, not the biggest move ever, but these premiums are pretty cheap, so I can play. And then underneath that, let's see, I might have to go to the daily to even see where the heck this sucker's at. All right, so there's a massive volume gap right in between here. I got to go way back to even, and there's also a price gap. All right, cool. What's the high in here? It's really 21.74, 22.2 is a big level. 21.12, 22.45, 22. I'm gonna put this at 22.2 for my second target. You know, there is that gap there down, so this could fill pretty nicely in there. I like that a lot for both up and downside. And then lastly, the good old Facebook. We also have an inside day, and you know, if you can really tell, there's a nice volume gap all the way down here to about 278. So if this downside, this thing can really get going again, as it did yesterday. This is something I really like out of Facebook. Holy cow, down $5 after hours. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. In terms of a call and put trigger, so let's see here. This level here is definitely pretty big. 302, that's a little low. All right, what's this double bottom here? With the top, what's the high? 42, 3033. All right, I'm gonna use my call trigger here at 303.3, right above these two levels. It was a low before knifing here. I like that. Flip this to blue for it real quick. Blue, cool. All right, and then on the downside, I like whatever this level is here is definitely big. 297.75, 297.91. All right, I'm gonna use this level here. What's the high on this? 297.75. I like that level. You know, pretty big psych level as well. Coordinates 297.75 on the downside. And that first level, I really see us, you know, testing big here on Facebook. This level is going to be big. 296 is going to be a big one. Let's see, 296. Throw that in there. But then underneath that, you know, we got room to fall. What's the high here? 293.75. I like that. That's a decent move down as well. Awesome. I like those two plays a lot. And then underneath that, you know, this thing can fall down to that 278 VPA gap we talked about earlier. But this also has potential for upside, right? So a level I noticed here, what's low? 307.78. Let's do this. 307.83. Cool. What's the high here? 307. I'll put this at 307.75. I like that on the upside, but that's not going to be my first target. We do have that PLC as we saw earlier, but my first target is going to be right underneath here at 305.3. That's a decent move. Let's see, 305.29. That'll work. Nice. And then over that, you know, we got some decent range. I like that a lot. All 5 of these plays are getting hit pretty well in terms of both sides of our VPA, so that's something, you know, I really like a lot when looking and really deciding on these plays. I think, you know, tomorrow's going to be very volatile, so that's something to really keep in mind. I probably won't play it for the first 15-30 minutes at least, and then once I get there, you know, I'm going to cut off my positions probably about noon, kind of let the market settle, do what it's going to do, let everyone talk, and then I'll start looking for a couple power hour setups based off of this list, you know, where they're at, stuff like that. But, you know, I'm expecting a lot of volatility tomorrow as it has the entire week. You know, just manage risk is the biggest thing. I think it's even saved me. I didn't trade today, had some personal things had to get over, but, you know, the market was absolutely insane today, both up and down again as it was yesterday. So, you know, I expect that again tomorrow, especially with the FOMC meeting.